I'm Ewan Udale, editor of Access International magazine, and I am talking today with Alessandro Mastrogiacomo, export sales director at Italian tracked platform manufacturer c.m.c. It is a fast-growing company that 1 year ago decided to stop the production of truck mounts and concentrate on spiders with good results. Alessandro has promised to provide us with some exclusive new product news. Before you do that, please could you explain to me what the situation is with COVID-19 in Italy at the moment?
Well, actually, the situation seems to be under control. There is not a big number of new cases, even if the situation is changing daily. The Italian population is respecting the rules, fortunately, keeping social distancing and wearing face masks and all these type of requirements. And I hope this will be enough to prevent a new spread of the virus and, of course, save lives. From a market point of view, we are seeing companies and people very active and trying to keep the business up at the same level we had before the virus. Our domestic sales, as well as the international sales, have not been particularly affected by the situation, thanks to our dealers network that faces the situation with so many efforts and motivation. At the moment, everything seems to be normal, more or less.
And how do you see that situation developing in the coming months? I guess it's difficult to answer that question specifically, but what is the feeling in Italy at the moment about how things will develop?
This is something new for all of us, for everybody. We need to be ready to every possible evolution of the situation. Since July, when we were able to travel again in Europe to meet our dealers, I've seen natural attention to social distancing and wearing masks all around Europe. I hope this will be enough to help us to manage the situation in the future. Of course, it will not be easy, but I'm confident that people is mature enough from this point of view to support the situation to remain stable.
What are the challenges in organising meetings and travelling through airports at the moment?
From a travel point of view, it's not easy at all at the moment, even if fortunately everybody is respecting rules. But by the other side, small airports, they are not so busy and everything is closed. It was hard for me in Brussels, I think, a couple of weeks ago to find a bottle of water. And of course, that's not funny. By the other side, big airports as Amsterdam or Munich, they were very busy. And of course, there were a lot of lines to health check before to get in. Of course, inside the airplanes, you need to wear a mask, of course, but it's hard for people to keep the mask on their face for 2 or 3 hours while flying. We need to travel only if necessary. I hope the situation will change shortly, but I'm not sure, honestly, just because the only way to prevent a new spread is to respect rules. Probably for holidays is not the best moment to travel at all.
And what about your company? How has that been directly affected by the COVID-19 situation?
I have to say that we were lucky for several reasons. We are in a region that was not affected so much by the virus. So we had, fortunately, no cases inside the company. And we had just a 14 days stop for the production last March, when we were forced by the government to lock down. We were just allowed to go to work for service and spare parts. Just because, of course, our product it's a very important one for normal activities like tree care or public light maintenance or building maintenance. So there are activities that cannot be stopped. And this is, I think, the reason we were able to start again sooner than other companies. And we also were lucky because we are growing and we had a good stock of raw materials. The situation is more or less stable. We are 100% operational. Even if we are seeing some small troubles from some suppliers to deliver, some of them, they had a longer lockdown than others. And some other, they are having troubles in getting components, especially from Asia. Everybody wants to keep the business up, so I see a lot of efforts all around. And Italy is famous for long holidays in August. I'm seeing that this year we will not have so much holidays. We normally never stop in August, but we just have rotation of people on holidays. But other companies, they normally were used to stop for the entire month of August, and they are not this year. So I think that people want to go back to normal and to keep the business up.
It's good to hear that you're back to full production, but are you finding sales to other parts of the world a challenge?
Honestly, I'm not seeing sales going down too much, fortunately. We have a very good dealer network, both in Italy and in foreign countries. We are very strong in America, and we are growing constantly in Europe and Asia. And also we are doing a good job in Australia. And we are not, to be honest, so strictly related to rental companies at the moment. We are developing the rental business and rental sales, but at the moment we have, of course, few customers in rental business, but we are not probably so strictly related as other companies are. It's probably easier in this period just because, as we said, our product is important for several activities. So trees are still growing, basically, and customers, they still need machines at the end of the day. I think also because of the helps some government are giving to the companies. And this is for sure helping to keep the situation under control and keep the business up.
What sense do you get about other manufacturers in Italy, and not just in your region, but generally? Are they returning to normal, or are other manufacturers finding things more difficult?
In our industry, they are more or less back to normal as well. Fortunately, as I said, I hope that all the industry will be healthy for the future and we will be all able to go forward with the business, of course.
So you think that even though there's lots of challenges and potential new spikes with COVID-19, that the market generally, and maybe even across Europe, will return to normal sooner rather than later, as some people feared before?
Well, I'm not sure about this, honestly. The market at the moment is not so constant, so it's going up and down. The main problem I'm seeing in Europe, especially at the moment, is related to new constructions. So new projects are more or less stopped, and of course, especially this affects especially rental companies. I'm not sure the situation will be soon back to normal, also because there is a concern related to what is going to happen in the future. So they are not ready to invest again and to start investing again as they did. So it's not easy to say where the market and the business is going in the future.
Yeah, I see. And you just mentioned the rental sector. So how would you describe the rental companies and the situation that they're going through at the moment, and how strong are they?
Well, they had, of course, a long period where the machines were not going out so much. Fortunately, in many countries, they had the opportunity of stop the financial exposure. And of course, this helps them to keep the business up. Now, for what I see, they are starting again renting out the machines. Probably not 100%, but going from 60 up to 80% of occupation of the machines. But especially construction equipment, I see they are not moving so fast. And of course, this is a big part of the machines they have. To have machines not working for rental companies, not easy to manage at all. Probably they are recalibrating their investments, so not having the same investment level they had planned for these years and probably for next year, but they are trying to keep the situation under control.
You talked a little bit earlier about how you are coping with the pandemic through how you're doing business and communications with customers, and you've talked about doing a bit of traveling. Are there any other areas that have changed in the way that you do business now with your customers and anyone else that you speak to?
I think we are lucky just because we had a lot of tools ready as Microsoft Teams we are using now, Google Meetings, Skype, and things like these, and we were using this already before. So we were ready to start showing the company to customers, so our facilities and our production to customers using these kind of tools. And we are also demonstrating machines using conference calls. Of course, it's not the same, but we are learning while doing this, of course. And every time we do that, it's easier. Of course, as I said, it's not the same of shaking hands and meet people and have a walk maybe inside the company. Fortunately, people, they want to go forward with their business, and we want as well, of course. So we are meeting in the middle, trying to develop the business in this way. People assembling machines and working directly in the production is not easy, and I have to thank my colleagues. Of course, we were forced to close some common spaces inside the company, dining halls, changing rooms, showers, and things like this. And of course, it's harder for them to manage these just because they have to spend their entire day in the same place. And I'm happy to see how passionate they are. They are probably doing more they were doing before. And they are concentrating all their efforts in keeping the quality of the product high. They are, at the moment, doing the hardest part of the job.
Thanks for letting me know that. And so how do you see the future in terms of traveling and communications online? Do you think as soon as there is the opportunity to travel, people will do that just as much as before? Or do you think people will choose to do more meetings, more product demonstrations online in the future?
Well, this is a very good question. Probably the training we are having with these new tools will help us to use these tools in future. So probably instead of travel all around the world, sometimes also for pleasure, just because we mesh pleasure and work sometimes while traveling, we will use these tools much more in future. By the other side, as I said, it's not the same. So to test one machine directly, so to test one machine live, is not the same to see a machine through a computer. So this is why we have also organized some demonstration tour, some new kind of demonstration tour around Europe. So we are shipping machines to customers and supporting them with conference calls when they have the machine in their yard. We can help them discover all the features of the machine in their yard. And we are able, with these new tools, to be in another place and help them understand how the machine works and all the features and all the advantages they have on the machines. This will be something that we will probably use in future as well. It's a new tool that we had to think about, but it's working. So probably we will go forward with this. About traveling, I'm not sure people will start again traveling without any problem in one day, even because we are in Puglia, that is a region where normally we have a lot of tourism. And this year we are not seeing so much people. We are seeing some, but not, of course, not as much as in the past. Probably we will need time to go back to normal.
Moving on to products, I know that part of your plan is to move far more into spider lifts or tracked platforms. What are your product plans at the moment, and how is that move and change going?
Well, we are not producing truck-mounted machines anymore since more than 1 year already. We decided to focus all our efforts on spiders, on tracked machines. Well, I'm going to give you a news, something totally new. It's the first time we say that we are going to launch on the market next November a 46 kilovolts insulated tracked machine. It was planned to be launched in TCI Expo in Baltimore next November, but the show has been postponed to next year. So we will probably have a virtual introduction of the product online. So we will organize a conference call, first of all with our dealers, then public one for all the customers, to introduce the new product next November. This is something very innovative for our market, and we trust this will help, especially companies working close to the power line, to be more safe. And probably this will be an evolution of our industry in the future. So to pay more attention to electrocution, basically, and to people working close to power lines.
That's great. Thank you for letting me know that. So your plans now are to move more towards insulated equipment. And I know that in North America, you have a big market there. Am I right in saying that it's your biggest market, North America? And they have a lot of interest in insulated machines as well.
Yes, absolutely. They have a lot of interest in North America about the insulated machines, but as well in Asia, in Australia, and some countries in Europe. The attention to this type of machines is growing. Probably we will go forward in developing new models insulated, but we are also developing our normal range of equipment, and in 2021 we will introduce 2 new models to complete our range. That is already one of the widest in the market, but of course the market is asking to have more alternatives. And depending by the type of work you need to do, you need different type of machines. So we are continuously innovating and continuously pushing on our research and development department. And to reply, to answer to your question, yes, we will go forward with insulated units in the future, but we will not stop developing the range of normal spider lifts.
Yeah, I see. And can you just remind us again why you decided to stop producing truck mounts? Because obviously that was a big part of your business historically.
It was a hard decision, of course, but it's hard to have two product lines so different. And of course, you need to twice the company, basically. So you have to dedicate people and of course, resources to both product lines. We wanted to be focused on something, and we decided to be stronger in the spider lift, so in the tracked industry, just because it's harder to produce a high quality product in spiders than in mounted. We like to challenge, so we decided to focus more on spiders. And I think it was a good decision, just because the market is helping us in going forward with what we have decided. And I have to say that it was a good choice at the moment, just because, of course, we are able to develop faster everything, being specialized in spider lifts.
So your biggest market is North America. What percentage of your business is that? And what other areas would you now like to develop and grow in?
Well, America at the moment is around 45% of our business. Around 25% it's Europe, that is constantly growing, fortunately, also because, as I said, we have some very good new dealers. The new one we have in UK is Tracked Spider Sales, that is having some good results in the whole United Kingdom. We have a new dealer in Belgium as well. We have a new dealer in France. We have a new branch in Germany. CMC Deutschland is doing a great job over there as well. So Europe is growing so fast, and we expect to grow more and to gain more market shares in Europe in the second half of 2020 and 2021 as well. Then Asia as well it's a growing market, the whole Asia, and we have some good new cooperation with a new Chinese dealer, with a new Indian dealer. We have a new dealer in Singapore and also Thailand and Vietnam and some other small countries compared, of course, with China and India, where we see that the market is constantly growing. Australia and New Zealand are also going very well, even if, as we know, they have a hard situation in the moment in Victoria. But fortunately, they never stop. They want to keep the business up. Even if they are in a tough situation, they are pushing.
So just as a final question, how would you like to see CMC grow year on year from now and in 5 years' time?
Well, we have planned to grow around 30% a year from 2019 to 2022. This is very challenging, of course, but we already did it in 2019, and we are still growing 30% in 2020 in spite of the virus situation. I think we will be able to keep the growing plans we had 30% in 2020. Not easy at all, but at the moment we are 31% on the same period of 2019. So that's good at the moment. And we want to keep the same growth level in 2021 and 2022. Also with the efforts that our domestic sales manager is doing. Fulvio Guercioli is quite famous in our industry. He works in this market since he was 23. He's now 53, so 30 years. And he's a very expert person, and he was able to develop a very good dealer network in Italy with 12 dealers covering the whole country.
Okay, well, Alessandro, thank you very much for your time and your insights into the industry.